Hello, we are ready to go with episode 2 of Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth. We are going to be doing Turnabout Airlines. Let's go. The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago. 2 days earlier. Oh, it's a plane. Go you. Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air, to be precise. Thank you for flying Go You Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. Blood. March 12th, 6:13 a.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge. Ugh. Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? 6:13, huh? Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Slight turbulence, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight. Though admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. Hey, it's a callback. Look at that. Oh, what's this? A travel wallet? But it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? Ugh, my head. Why won't this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. Ugh, from earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator. What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. Oh, we're really going back. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. Oh no, it's not just an elevator. What in the world happened? Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your Hey! He's dead! Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer! No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me. March 12th, 6:41 a.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class. Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I am one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenero. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. Really? An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse and it was a murder. What? Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we're out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated. But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off! Please, there is no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. Oh no. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer. Ha! Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy. Now you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body. So you say. However, I am sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. Oh, is that right? I know what I saw. And there's even very strong, incriminating evidence to back me up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation. Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine, and the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just sit idly by while I get accused of murder. Miss Tenero, is it? Yes. I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance to do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask you what you meant by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous? You have a point. Very well, I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please, make it quick. Of course, as you wish. Good. Very well then, let's get started. I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. I'm sure not. Oh, we got a rebuttal right away, a testimony. What Miss Tenero saw. Real quick, before we do that, I noticed that it somehow switched the sprites to the old sprites, so I think I'm gonna save real quick and go change that option and then come back. Because, back to title, hang on just a second. Yeah, we got it saved, don't worry. So, there we go, art style, we're doing back to HD, yeah. There we go. Quick and easy. Alright, we're back. What Miss Tenero saw. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. That really gives me confidence. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator. It was you, standing there, with fresh blood dripping off of the murder weapon. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land. That's it. That's her evidence. I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. But Miss Tenero saw. Alright. Well, do I have any evidence? Okay, I do. So I have my badge. I have the travel wallet. He picked that up. And that certainly was not the murder weapon. I think this cat statue was the murder weapon. And then, go use... Hey! She's on the cover. Interesting. Let's see. Flight itinerary. That's interesting. We have that, too. What is this over here? This, like, Two Brothers-esque poster for a movie. License to Love, Laugh, Meme? Suspense, hard-boiled action. Okay. That sounds pretty cool. I want to watch that. I don't know what that is, but... Anyway. I swear to tell the whole truth. Can we just go to the actual contradiction here. The scene I saw in front of the elevator, it was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off of the murder weapon. Okay. I'm gonna present the travel wallet. Miss Tenero. What is with the yelling all of a sudden? Force of habit. Well, it doesn't matter. Miss Tenero, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood, is that correct? Yes, all that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine. Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you. What? I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky. The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Miss Tenero. What? Impossible! Now then, do you still think I'm the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet? I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did. As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you'd agree it's only grape juice. Then, that's right. You mistook grape juice for blood. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not, in fact, exist. Was it really grape juiced in the original translation? That's just odd. Seems more like a wine. Wine would be more blood-colored. No! There. That should clear up that pesky accusation. Wait just a sec. That is... I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside. Please. She's trembling, and the tacked-on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light. No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of that wallet for myself. Oh, she's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Miss Tenero, if you would be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me. All right. I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. All right, let's get to checking. Grape juice stains the outer cover. True, it was I who dropped it in the juice. However, I didn't do it out of ill intentions. Can we open it up? Wait. Oh, there we go. It seems that this passport is all that's in here. Wait, the Republic of Borginia? Hey, nice. As you saw, there's nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree? Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it now? Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look? Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is... Ackby Hicks? The Republic of Borginia. Nice. Okay. Call back to Apollo Justice there. Just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. Ackby Hicks, which makes it the victim's property. Wallet data updated in my organizer. Okay. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you? How dare you! You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. Miss Tenero's logic. As you claimed, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks's money, weren't you? So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see. You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? Miss Tenero's logic. As you claimed, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. Got it. So, however, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. Let's see about that. Let's press it. Shouldn't that be proof enough for you that I did not murder the victim? Not at all. Oh, and why not? Because that wallet may not have been what I thought it was. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks. You think I stole it? Yes, I'm very sorry to say it, and I wouldn't usually be so rude, but it must be said. Huh? I never thought I'd see the day, but here I am calling a passenger a thief. Maybe I should put on a serious face and say it more directly. I believe you removed the wallet from the victim's personage. It really doesn't matter how you phrase it. What I'd like to know is why you think I stole Mr. Hicks's wallet. Your motive was very simple. Oh, yeah? I don't think I have any sort of motive to speak of. I've never met Mr. Hicks before, and our only connection is this one flight. But that is more than enough of a reason. How do you figure? He was sitting in first class, and I think the implication is quite clear. Oh, it is. You were out to steal Mr. Higgs's money, weren't you? By the way, she's got one heck of a, superior stare going on there. That's impressive. And I like the model updates in this for the HD version. That's pretty good. Out to steal Mr. Higgs's money. Well, hang on a second. What's all this here? Laying in the elevator. That's his money, right? I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Tenero. What is it now? Miss Tenero, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony. What are you talking about? It's simply impossible that the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this scene would prove that the motive for the murder was not the money? The money? If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor... Ah! That's right. The floor is covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, those were the very things the killer was after. Ah! I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer. And I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money. But the wallet... Ah yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks's passport. Ah, if you are really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet. Forgive me! Please! Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong? So that guy isn't the killer? Ha! Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Will you all please be quiet? Miss Tenero. Yes? You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark, and looking into the light from the elevator, it's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought I was the killer. Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you for releasing me. Oh no, it's the Borgenian language again, with the guy doing the Hadouken. I love it. What is it now? What? Miss Tenero, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged. It sounds like Borgenian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who... I said that he is giving the runabout. Huh? I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant. Yes, sir. I want this person to be under the arrest until we arrive at the airport. Huh? I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I am finished talking to the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we land. You! How dare you try to waste my time! You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. He is super red. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent! Yes, I am pretty sure that's how you say it in English. Well, I should hope I'm not monetarily bankrupt, but I don't think that's what you meant. He's not Gumshoe. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name. I am Zinc LeBlanc II. I am a very wealthy man in the Virginia. But I am not an ordinary rich man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty. Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now? Pardon? When you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout? I have to explain? Unbelievable! I will say it once and only once. I do not even have a second to waste. Time is money, as they say. Yes, and yet you continue to blather on. I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator, going down to the lounge. It was exactly at 6 o'clock. Okay. And what's the significance of that time? At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6? What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? He understands, I see. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body? Well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15. Hicks was his name, was it? Then I say that man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person at the lounge at that time was this prosecutor, yes? Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. He's fully ready to jump out of the plane. I love it. He's even got his air mask down. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice. I was still eating. Still haven't finished. See? Why does he have He has a TV with a Super Nintendo hooked up to it, it looks like? The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. No compliant, I see. Not a single word against this, right? I have no way of discounting what you've put forth at this point, but it wasn't me. Oh, so you say. But do you have what you say? The evidence? Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all? Miss LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw, enough to give testimony? Of course, I was looking at that man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little small machine the whole time. Machine? Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? It was making me crazy with the click, click, click. From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer. I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself. A simple cell phone, a laptop or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget. I hate that noisy little machine in his hand. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. You gotta remember, too, this game was made in 2009, so iPhones were out, but they certainly weren't ubiquitous. So smartphones were not everywhere. Anyway, I know what I saw. Miss Tenero? Yes? I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene. What? You want to examine the crime scene? If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit. I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that is how you say it in English. It's Fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Miss Tenero, if you wait until we arrive, there is a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then. I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say. Ha! This should not be approved! Please, Mr. LeBlanc, in an emergency, all decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now, please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back. You are not planning to erase evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes? Of course not. Ha! We will see!
Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene.
What? Unbelievable!
I am in your debt, Miss Tenero. However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that?
Of course. I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural, as I'm still a suspect in this case.
Grrr. I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to use T to talk. It's time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge.
Alright. So, Rhoda here is going to be our gumshoe, our assistant for this case. So, yep. So, yeah, we got the first class here. Pretty nice. I mean, this is huge. And I also notice here that Edgeworth just has a giant red book with the word law on it, and he has it bookmarked. Let me look at this. It's my seat. Unfortunately, I didn't bring anything particularly useful for an investigation. It's not as if I'm constantly prepared for such a thing to occur. That's more Phoenix's gig, that no matter where he goes, murders happen. Let's see. That's right. I was in the middle of recreating a chess game. Just an observation, but aren't there too many red knights around that lone blue pawn? Nonsense. It simply shows that the blue pawn is no match for the red knight's might. Okay. This was Mr. Hicks's seat. I don't see the machine Mr. LeBlanc was talking about. Perhaps it's in the elevator? Maybe. We should probably head down to the crime scene now. So this is the victim's seat. Okay, that's good to know. Hey, you are going to have an aneurysm, buddy, so calm down. I'm assuming the red versus blue here is a reference to Phoenix, because he will never be mentioned by name in this whole series, but he will be mentioned, okay? Offhandedly, that is. Can I go to the captain's stuff? Oh, March 12th, 7:26 a.m., Flight G390, first floor lounge. Oh, that just automatically took us there. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your help back there, Miss Tenero. It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you. Your standing with me hasn't changed one iota. I see. And we'll bear that in mind. I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time. So my time runs out at his and his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time is up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board? I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes in first class without a staff keycard. And we found no record of a keycard being used at all. Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered either. So, first floor lounge, we're doing our investigation. Okay. And now then, let's get started. But where should we start from? Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer was around somewhere. Okay, we got our first logic point. Where was the killer? If we are to believe what you said is true, then yes. The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust. Alright. Here. What does it say? Here lie Ugo Hughes. There's some spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. I assume it was spilled during the turbulence.
Oh, we must clean that up or someone might get hurt.
Aha!
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I found some very important evidence.
What is the important piece of evidence in this scene?
The footprints, for sure.
What is it?
Well, they're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree they are a set of footprints.
Interesting. So you think...
Yes, these belong to our killer.
Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe sizes of everyone in first class.
I don't think that will be of any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a definitive match.
Oh, I see.
Okay. And what's this?
The in-flight shop is just beyond these shutters. But we don't have permission to open them, so I'm afraid I must leave them closed.
There must still be clues to be found here in this lounge. I must remain ever vigilant.
Hello, Baking Snake Omar. Greetings.
Alright, so let's see. Let's keep examining. What about this? Glasses and candles thrown into disarray by the turbulence. It's been a while since I've seen this big of a mess.
It's terribly embarrassing, but I thought it was an earthquake for a second. And I frantically started searching for gas valves to shut off.
I guess the shaking of the plane was bad enough to be mistaken for a real earthquake. Not that I would know, since I was unconscious for most of it. What we got here? This toppled over chair. Yet another victim of the turbulence. Ah, no! Look at all that grape juice staining the back!
It may not look it, but this chair was extremely valuable.
It was?
Yes, it was used when the Rocker Pals came to tour this plane.
The Rocker Pals?
The Rocker Pals leader sat in this very chair.
I'm sorry, but what are these Rocker Pals?
I can't believe you've never heard of them. They're all the rage. The Rocker Pals are an extremely popular international band. They added the pals part as they became more popular, especially among teens.
That explains it. I'm not really one for the music of today. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe about them later. On second thought, I can already see how confusing the conversation would get. I was surprised it wasn't the Gaviners, because Clavier was definitely a prosecutor at this point. Let's look at the cabinet, maybe? These bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. There is quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area.
Thank you very much for the warning, Mr. Edgeworth. However, no matter how kind you are towards me, know that it does not clear up any suspicions I have about you.
I wasn't warning you for the sake of clearing my name.
This door leads to the flight attendant's room, but please understand that it's off limits to unauthorized personnel.
The room is giving off the scent of women's perfume. One would think that perfume would smell great. However, to me, it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies behind this door.
Perhaps we should return to the investigation, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth?
Sorry, I spaced out for a second there. You thinking about going in there? Is that like a...
Do you like perfume, Mr. Edgeworth?
Do you like the beautiful girls?
Let's see. What do we got? Let's look at the piano. This grand piano is the pride of this plane. It can play the music of whatever CD we insert into its CD drive.
That's not a piano. It's more like an overgrown music box.
Ah, but its keys to press along with the music as though there really is someone playing it.
Some people have entirely too much money to waste on overly complex toys.
Remember, CD, 2009. Just keep telling yourself that, even though this is technically in the future. This is 2009.
These counter windows offer a glimpse of the sky, but these clouds, they tell me nothing.
Mr. Edgeworth, you look like you're talking to the clouds.
Is that so? Well, then tell me. What do you suppose I said to them?
I don't know, but it looked like a rather one-sided conversation.
The clouds, they tell me nothing. The clouds, they do nothing. Oh, we got some pamphlets. There are a few copies of Sky magazine in the magazine rack. This month's special is an English trivia quiz. That's not a bad idea. I've heard that the youth of today don't know a particle from a participle. Now, please don't go around confusing people with made-up words, Mr. Edgeworth. Who's ever heard of such a silly word as participle? Case in point. You poorly educated millennial, or whatever. Let's see, what do we got here? Can we look at this ice bucket, or no? Okay, we can look at the statue. What or who is this? This is a bronze statue of the founder of GoU Airlines, Mr. Ugo Hughes. The one on the left is of when he was in his 40s, and the other is of him in his 80s. It's the same statue. Did the man age at all over those 4 decades? Maybe I need to squint more. Here lies Ugo Hughes. Why does it say that? Like, is he dead? Is he buried on his plane? All right, is there anything else to look at? We can look at the crime scene itself, so that's probably what we need to do next, but I'm just gonna go around. Edgeworth is old-fashioned. Yes, he is a very old-fashioned fellow. It's true. He's got the rough, everything. Yeah. All right, let's talk. What floors does this elevator service? Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew keycard. So the only floors accessible to passengers are the first and second, huh? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Alright, yep. His go-to catchphrase for this game. Let's look at the victim first. I doubt anyone was expecting to find a dead body in an elevator on this flight. So, Mr. Hicks, he's really dead? Yes. She's trembling, although I can't fault her for that when there's a corpse right there. Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes. I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyway, I should focus on the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the back of Mr. Hicks's head. Could this be the cause of death? He appears to have been struck very hard. Blunt force trauma. Okay, a wound on the back of Hicks's head suggests blunt force trauma, but what caused it? Even his glasses are broken. Okay, broken glasses. The victim's glasses are broken. Were they broken during his murder? I bet so. Is there a flight where people would expect to find a dead body in the elevator? Well, is there a flight where you would expect an elevator? Is a question that I have. Maybe I ride too many, very, very cheap flights, but that has not happened in my experience. Money is strewn all over the floor of the elevator. I would guess it was all in Mr. Hicks's wallet at some point. Yep, which was the evidence we needed to prove that we did not try to burgle him. What do we got here? What is this sinister-looking figure on the floor here? Oh, that's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Captain Ugo. It's just one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell in our in-flight shop. This bank is a limited edition and is so popular that we're down to our last one. You have an in-flight shop? Yes, it's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment. But it was open the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks's body was discovered. There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon? Very likely. All right, we got that. We got him. Oh, what's this? There's no grape juice residue on the soles of his shoes, making it highly unlikely that Mr. Hicks entered this elevator after the turbulence. All right, so he wasn't there, and we'll see. Yes, I'm going to poke around a bit more for sure. What about his face? I wonder what was hanging off of this lanyard. Something's missing from this picture. Now, if I could just put my finger on it. Yeah, there is something missing here, I think. So what do we got? I think we got him all set. Oh, wait, what about this? There's something sticking out of his pocket. Hope you won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. It looks like it was taken inside a building somewhere. Boy, he looks happy. Photo of Mr. Hicks, found in the victim's pocket. A souvenir, perhaps? Yeah, he looks like he's having a great time. Deduce, okay. This spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold. Oh, no. Hang on. Wait. Hang on. His phone is on the lanyard. Hang on, we got that. So let's go to the lanyard. There, and we're going to deduce. And we're going to present the photo. Mr. Hicks's machine is nowhere to be found. His machine? His cell phone, Miss Tenero. Oh, so I guess because it's not here. Yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it. The missing cell phone. All right. Cool. That's good. We got that figured out. So, let's back out and do some logicking, I think. Oh, we can talk to Rhoda. Are you in need of assistance? Let's talk about stuff with you. The captain's permission. Miss Tenero, I'd like to ask you about investigating the lounge. As long as you have the captain's permission, I can't stop you from looking around. If you could pass a message along, tell him I'm grateful for his spirit of cooperation. I will. However, please realize that you are still under suspicion. To be honest, I still have my doubts about you. Of course, and I take no offense. Do you really understand what I'm saying? Yes, verily. Do you pinky swear you do, on your honor as a professional prosecutor? I pinky swear I do, on my honor as a professional prosecutor. Well, I guess that settles that. I feel my honor as a man slowly diminishing. Wait, I accidentally hit the enter key again. Alright, pass along a message. Yes. Alright. Notice anything? Yeah, do you? Did you notice anything? I was wondering whose footprints those are next to the elevator. I'd say the killer's, wouldn't you say? Even if they aren't, I'm sure they're a vital clue to solving this case. Oh, maybe there are other clues waiting to be found in other places. Come on now, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go find them together. A word of advice, nobody likes a credit thief, so stop stealing my lines. I like that her cheek is twitching. That's really weird. I don't know if that was in the original version or if I just didn't notice it, but that's great. About the victim. I was wondering if you noticed anything, Mr. Nero. Yes, I can't help but notice the sad atmosphere in here. Yes. It is a rather tragic crime. I'll say, robbing the poor man after bludgeoning him to death? Talk about rubbing in the salt. I can't forgive someone who would do this to a passenger of mine. I swear as a professional flight attendant that I will capture the culprit with my own hands. And I promise as a prosecutor to solve this case with logic and deduction. I should go over all the leads I've collected so far one more time. The key to solving this lies at the intersection of my logic and the evidence. Yes, I get the idea, but before we go to logicking, Rhoda, you need to look at my badge. Even if you show that to me, I still cannot allow you to free reign. I'm sorry, but I must admit that I still have my doubts about you. Guilty until proven innocent, I see. Aw, that's too bad. She didn't have much to say about it. Alright, let's start logic. Logic time. Alright. What do we got going on here? Where was the killer? The elevator. One thing I can think of, what clues point to where the killer could have been? Well, there's some spilled grape juice. The idea behind that is that there are tracks leading away from the crime scene, right? But let's keep looking. The murder weapon was Captain Ugo and blunt force trauma. So that's an easy one. Let's connect the fact that the Captain Ugo has blood on it, and blunt force trauma was the cause of death. That seems like an easy connection. A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out.
Yes? What is it?
The way the blood is on this, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head.
Well, aren't we deserving of the Master of the Obvious title?
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think that's worth investigating?
It would appear that this figurine is our murder weapon.
Oh, I just knew it. I mean, I can't think of any other connection.
Perhaps Master of the Oblivious would be more befitting.
Captain Ugo Piggybank. Okay. Yep, it's got the blood on it.
The victim's broken glasses. Spilled grape juice. Where was the killer? Elevator. The victim's body was found inside the elevator that connects the first floor with second floor. Spilled grape juice. Okay. Let's see if we can get where was the killer down, right? What clues point to where the killer could have been? What do we got? There is some spilled grape juice, the broken glasses, the victim's body. Let's do spilled grape juice. I'm wondering if that's the connection, because we saw the footprints going off. No! I can't see a clear connection between these two pieces of information. Alright. So that's not it. I see a connection, but Edgeworth doesn't. The elevator. Inside the elevator that connects the first floor. Well, remember though, it also connects with the cargo room in the bottom of the... But only staff can get there, which is interesting. The victim's glasses are broken. Or is spilled grape juice because it was spilled by the turbulence, right? The broken glasses could also have been broken during the turbulence. Let's see. No. Okay, that's not it. They don't fit together either. All right. Well, we got to connect something here, I'm thinking. The victim's body was found inside the elevator. Right. So we have an elevator, and we have either the broken glasses, the spilled grape juice. There is some spilled grape juice on the floor in front of the elevator. What clues point to where the killer could have been? Is it the elevator? Let's see. Yes, okay. True, there wasn't anyone else in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then that's a different story. If only I could prove that the killer rode the elevator with Hicks. Okay. Is it the spilled grape juice now? Let's see. In the elevator with Hicks, because of the footprints, right? There. I have it!
I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can prove that someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder.
What? Really?
Yes, it's rather simple, actually. The proof is in the pudding, or rather the grape juice in this case. Those footsteps here confess to me this very fact. That someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as how the victim is dead, that would mean a second person.
But couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself?
Ah, but if you could take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see the soles are spotless.
Which means...
Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There was actually one other person inside the elevator.
All right, cool.
Investigation complete. Cool. And we got our health back. What's going on over there? Oh no, he's speaking Borginian again, but there's no Hadoukens in his words this time. Oh, someone else is speaking Borginian. There's a Hadouken. Oh. Unforgivable! This is unforgivable! Do you understand what I'm saying? The movie is late. It is the same level of bad as if the plane arrived late.
But the movie...
What? I will not talk to you anymore. You are just wasting my time.
What is the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? If there is no emergency, please return to your seat, sir.
Do not tell me what to do. I need not to sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you're innocent yet?
If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now.
What? Nonsense! Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken?
Oh, not mistaken, merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more.
Fine. Suit yourself.
Okay. We're gonna do a testimony with him, too, huh? Okay.
What I saw. I am certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes? Then you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must be the criminal.
Well, hang on. When he said the needles pointed to the 6 and the 12, is that... Wait a minute. 6 and 12. That could be 6:30 or 12:30, right? Depending on which is the long and which is the short. So that's an immediate weird statement.
Mr. LeBlanc's conclusions seem to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of the murder was me. So, my eyewitness testimony. If you think you can destroy it, then come. Let me see. Hurry. Do I look like a man who is having the time to wait for you?
Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow.
And fast.
Alright, well, let's do some pressing then. Mr. Hicks, through the elevator. Mr. LeBlanc, were you able to get a good look at the inside of the elevator at that time?
Of course, I saw what was inside.
And you are sure that the victim was in the elevator alone?
Yes, the only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man.
This last outburst is a bit too important to let go. The only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man. Do we have clear evidence that that's incorrect now? The grape juice footprints, maybe? But let's keep pressing for now. Was he really alone?
Of course. I will bet even 1 cent.
A cheap ante for a cheap testimony. But if that's how you want to play it, I'll happily take your 1 cent. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. I assume the pocket watch in this case is the one you keep checking, is that correct?
Oh, you noticed. It is a very expensive antique, I will have you know. The feeling is wonderful when I fully wind it up by hand.
It does look very well designed and quite classy.
I will have to charge you if you want to touch it.
That's quite all right. Let's continue with your testimony.
What a cheap man you are. Now return the time you wasted back to me. And if we must, I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator at 6 o'clock.
The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes? It's true that I found the victim's body at 6:15. And that's when I found the two of them as well.
You see, it all matches my testimony.
Then you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must be the criminal. That is the most mistaken way of thinking I have ever heard of.
No. Your silly opinion is what is mistaken.
Please calm down, the both of you. In a sense, you are both mistaken. Well, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black, then I don't know what is. I spy a little hole in his words. As you wish, Mr. LeBlanc. I will now show you proof of my innocence. Alright, it's the only person inside was the Hicks man, right? So, the grape juice footprints?
Mr. LeBlanc, what is it?
There is a very glaring contradiction in your testimony.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There, at the spilled grape juice.
Yes, and? Will you admit you also spilled it with the blood?
No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints.
Footprints?
Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out into the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive. Oh! There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? Wait, it's Borgerian. Hadouken!
Can you please translate for us? No way. That's totally impossible, I guess is what he said.
No way! That is totally impossible! I know there was no other person in there. I saw with my own eyes.
If you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us.
I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying. But then, what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just once more, will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me? Alright, here we go again. What I saw, part 2.
I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. I was always checking the time, over and over again. I happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me, and I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering. But I swear there was no one else inside. No one!
Mr. LeBlanc, if you would please calm down.
What? Dare you, too, have an issue with my eyewitness testimony?
No, not at all. Please forget I said anything.
Yet again, he doesn't appear to be lying. But I can't let this testimony stand as the truth. What I saw, part 2. I was very upset. Okay. And who is this other person who keeps translating? So, are you still upset now?
I am always upset. The only time I am not is when I have a piece of art in my hands. That's my secret cap. I am always upset.
It's surprisingly easy to believe that about him.
But I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks walked by me.
Was always checking the time. Why were you so attentive to the time?
Because something unforgivable was happening.
Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier.
I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return back to me my time in money. You understand the point.
Movie? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? A summary of the plot at its start time. Interesting.
They were supposed to show License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. I cannot see that movie in my country. You can only see it on international flights. I looked forward greatly to that movie. I checked my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board.
There we go. There's a time zone difference, I bet.
So my watch is not wrong. It matched the schedule. But the movie was still late. Very, very late.
Your pocket watch. I'd like to ask you a little more about it, if that's all right. The movie I wanted to see would not start, so I checked my pocket. Okay, hang on a second. Can we look? I'm not presenting anything right now. I just want to look at the in-flight magazine. The movie, it says, is at 6 o'clock. Right? So, let's see. There was a meal. There were drinks right before the movie, and then there was a meal kind of halfway through the movie. Interesting. So I'm wondering if there's a time zone problem, and it really wasn't 6 o'clock when you saw him go down there. But let's keep poking. So this movie you mentioned, is it the one listed in the Sky magazine?
Yes! I was so looking forward to watching License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder.
Miss Tenero, was this movie shown on this flight?
Yes, it was shown at the scheduled time.
Isn't it possible you simply slept through it by accident?
Nonsense, you doubt me?
No, now stop pointing at me like that. Odd. How did he miss a movie that he was clearly hoping to see?
I checked my pocket watch a great number of times. That much I know for sure.
My watch is set to the destination's time. Okay. You're sure about what you just testified, Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes, of course. I am a very busy man. I am immediately busy when I land. I have many places to go, and no time to waste adjusting my pocket watch.
I see.
That was a very valuable statement you just made.
Flatter me all you want, but you will not get 1 cent out of me.
That's all right. All I require is this piece of testimony. I happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me. Since you only happened to see him, it's possible that you missed something in that glance.
Even if I only happened, I did not miss a thing.
And how can you be so sure?
Just because.
I would appreciate it if you didn't take my life so lightly with a simple just because.
Well then, I was only making a joke. I saw Mr. Hicks, all right?
I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering.
Is it possible that someone was hiding inside? What? You dare insult me? I have belief in my eyesight. When I look for art to sell, I am told often I have great sight for the arts.
I think the phrase you were looking for was great sense, although that's debatable.
But isn't it possible someone was just outside of your line of sight? You are persistent. I tell you, I looked clearly.
But I swear there was no one else inside, okay? Why do you insist that you're absolutely not mistaken?
Because when I say I'm not wrong, I am not wrong.
Mr. LeBlanc, if I may, I think beyond misconceptions and mistakes lies the truth. Funny, that suspiciously mirrors something I told her only a little while ago.
I love that she's like stealing all of his lines.
I honestly don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying.
I don't think he's lying either. But I think he might be mistaken about something.
Mistaken?
Yes, and I'm going to correct his mistaken recollection, with evidence.
And this professional attendant shall witness the powers of a professional prosecutor.
Very alliterative.
The movie I wanted to see. Okay, is it the movie I wanted to see would not start? Wait a minute. I was very upset. Does he say at some point that it was definitely 6 o'clock? On my watch, I always said it. Hang on, the movie I wanted to see would not start. Hang on. Is this it? Because the movie was going to be starting right then. There. Is this it?
Your testimony just now on this piece of evidence.
I cannot believe how much time I have spent here. You will pay for this time with your piece of evidence.
No, stop. This is an invaluable piece of evidence.
If you do not know how to use it, then give it to me. I will try to use it for you.
I know how to use it just fine, thank you. I simply made a tiny error.
Alright, the movie I wanted to see would... So that's not where we... was very upset. I always said it when I board the plane. Okay. Is that somehow... I don't think it is. So Acme Hicks was 28, she's 24. Rhoda Tenero. Zinc LeBlanc from the North European Republic of Borginia. Alright, he's 62. Interesting. Alright. Well, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Is it... Let's see, the movie I wanted to see would not start. I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. My watch is set to my destination's time. I always set it when I board the plane, okay? The only thing I can think of is the Sky magazine. Should I present it on this? Let's see. Okay, it was just presented on the wrong piece of evidence. Okay.
Mr. LeBlanc, you said this
Just now in your testimony. Yeah, he said it to the destination time. Yeah.
Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination.
Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents.
I would like you to take a look at this. If you believe this Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie scheduled was also created with that in mind. Miss Tenero, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now?
Well, we made a short stop at a transfer point. That's right, it was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Zhengfa. Hey, that gets brought up later too. But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now, we are still running on Borginian time.
What?
The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with the schedule.
What?
Further, with your analog watch set to our destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to the flight's onboard clocks. It also changes everything about your testimony, and you can bet 1 million cents on that. In light of this information, it means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m.
My 1 million cents!
This should clear up all of the remaining accusations. So this basically widens the time frame for the time of death, right? Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m. It means that the time of death could be anywhere from 3 to 6:15 a.m. The question now is, where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing? I've got something to say. And you are? Yeah. Oh. I'm Cammy Meal. I'm a flight attendant. Cammy Meal. And what is it you wish to say? Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know? What? How can you be so sure of the time? Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point. Ah, the stop we made for refueling and cargo transfer in Zhengfa, correct? Yes, it was from 4 to 5 a.m., according to our clocks. And during that time, did any of the passengers leave, or did any new ones board this flight? No, not a single person got off or on in Zhengfa. What about the flight crew? The few who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off, but eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back on the plane. So basically, I can assume that no one left or got on since our initial takeoff. Interesting. I should keep that in mind. Alright, refueling in Zhengfa. Cool. Yeah, and I answered his call. I can tell you what Mr. Acby Hicks was there, in his seat, when we took off again at 5 a.m. Alright, we got Miss Meal's testimony. Alright then, that puts the time of the murder between 5 and 6:15 a.m. Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth? I remember coming down here almost as soon as we left the Republic of Zhengfa.
Ah, you were here the whole time from 5, yes? Then you are the only one who could be the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth, were you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards? Unfortunately, yes. But then how do we explain the footprints?
Is not that obvious? This man waited for Mr. Hicks here in this lounge, waited to kill him. And then he put the corpse into the elevator. That is when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken. But what time I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the second floor does not matter. Because the entire incident concluded here in this lounge.
Everything happened in this lounge? Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc?
Do you have another idea?
I simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario you presented. Is there something that can tie this crime to a location other than this lounge? Let's see. Is it the grape juice footprints? The elevator? Is it the crime scene itself, the fact that it's in an elevator? Or are we talking about something more concrete, right? Or is it, yeah, is it the footprints? I think I think it's the updated autopsy report. Yes, we got to have a new autopsy report, right? No, it's grape juice footprints, I think. Because I was thinking about that because it looks like footprints and something being dragged. So let's try it. These footprints, in which direction do you think these are headed? That would be the in-flight shop. Correct. They are headed in the direction of the shop.
But they look disconnected. They end all of a sudden.
You are right to point out that they do not form one continuous trail to the shop. However, there is another piece of evidence that connects the shop to our crime scene. Besides the footprints, what else points to the in-flight shop? The Captain Ugo piggy bank, yeah. The murder weapon, this little piggy bank, is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there, and is not displayed here in this lounge. How then did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious?
Such a trivial point. It only means you prepared it, taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all.
Is there no way to win with this man? Oh. If I may.
What is it?
You see, well, it's just as Mr. Edgeworth says.
Oh, and why do you know this so well?
Well, it's just that piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes.
And when was this?
It was maybe around 5:40 a.m.
Isn't that just before we hit that patch of turbulence?
That's right.
You were in the shop just before the turbulence?
Yes, I was.
Come to think of it, Miss Tenero, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door.
Yes, I did.
And what is beyond that door?
That's the flight attendant's room.
Then you were on the first floor?
Yes. I had to do something at the shop and in the in-flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first and then to the flight attendant's room.
Are you saying you passed by me at some point?
Yes, you seemed really into the issue of Sky magazine you were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by.
I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was.
Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there.
Why did you go to the shop in the first place?
I went there for a work-related matter.
Work, you say?
Yes, the upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities.
Why did you not say anything about that until now, is what I want to know.
In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well. Shall we head over there, then?
What is it now?
Aren't you forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop? No, I haven't forgotten. But I have already asked him for permission to search the entire plane. Hello, Tiamat. Hello. I like your Deathwing avatar. That's Deathwing, right? Yeah, I think so. So I think we're all right. Huh? That's weird.
What is?
Well, I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Tenero?
It means she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You said you had permission to search all over, but you don't. And yet here you are.
You flight attendant! What are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us?
The captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way.
Miss Tenero, why would you do such a thing?
Please excuse me. What was that about? Looks like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. And now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you would follow me, I will be your guide from now on.
There's something about Miss Tenero that has piqued my curiosity. But right now, investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority.
All right.
So, we gotta go to the shop? Or do we have to talk to somebody? Why are you waving your finger at me, buddy? Stop that. This is honestly my second favorite case in the game. Really? In the first Ace Investigations game? Yeah, this is a pretty fun case. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Investigations too. Like, that is like straight up wall-to-wall bangers. Now, let's talk to Cammy here. Miss Mayo, about investigating the in-flight shop. You're of no use to me asleep. Wake up!
What's up?
I need you to come with me so I can search the shop.
Go on ahead without me. I'll catch up with you later.
How has this woman not been fired yet? Seemed very inattentive. Oh wait, I can look at stuff differently now? There are a few copies of Sky Magazine in the magazine rack. The special this month is an English trivia quiz. Of course, I have never uttered a single grammatically incorrect sentence in my life. What is it? What are you looking at me for? Hurry and go do your investigating. I do not believe in this making haste slowly saying you have it English. Keep looking. I have, but it has been a really... I played it right when it came out, and that is pretty much the last time I played it. So, I did play Investigations 2, the fan translation. So it is... I am very rusty. I don't remember a whole lot about this game. These bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. There is quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area.
Huh? Did you say something?
I said that there is glass here and to be careful.
But why?
Obviously, common sense does not register even as a blip on this girl's radar. Alright, Mr. LeBlanc, you got anything to say? Oh, I am really mad. You'd better hurry up and bring me some evidence. If you could just wait a little longer while we look into the shop. Don't number the birds before they are burned. Don't number the... What? I have no idea what he's trying to say. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, perhaps? All I ask of you is your patience and cooperation.
16 years.
Yeah, that's about right. I think I started playing these games in, I think, 2007. It was right around when Apollo Justice came out. So, yeah, that's when I jumped on as a fan. Okay, so you got into the trilogy released in 2019. Sweet. Yeah. I'm glad more and more people play this series because it's awesome, and I can't wait for them to make a new game to follow up. All right, let me look at the piano here. The piano. It's been a while since I played one of these. It might not be a bad idea to brush up a bit after all this time. Of course, that's contingent on the outcome of this case. It's time to get investigating. No piano minigame for us, I guess. All right. Okay, so we can go. Let's just head on out. March 12th, 8:32 a.m., flight G390, first floor, in-flight shop. Oh, so she did follow us. So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here.
You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then.
Hold on! You can't clean up a potential crime scene!
Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much.
I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. Cool, we got a piece of logic. This is a very good chance that the killer had paid this place a visit. Alright, let's check it out. Yeah, because I did join around that time, like, started playing the series, because all the memes that came out, like, I was in the middle of college around the time that came out. And I remember being interested in it. And also, I'm a big Capcom. Like, I like Capcom games in general, most of their games. So, he is just like, his finger was like right on her nose, just about. All right. Let's look around. So we have some broken glass. We have a bunch of creepy nesting dolls. We have magazines, and then we have these
huge, I'm no doubt extremely overpriced travel luggage bags. What else we got? Now let's just start from the left and work our way over. Beautiful flowers in a beautiful arrangement. I feel cleansed just by looking at them. Well, you're kind of stepping on a few of them, you know, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, excuse me. Thanks. Do you have anything to say? I don't know much about this shop, but you can still ask me about whatever. Do you notice anything? So, what do you think about what has happened regarding this case? Oh, I don't know. I guess I think you're the killer, though, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can assure you that I'm here in this shop to prove just the opposite.
Yeah, but it was me that got you the permission to look around. You know. So, don't forget that, okay?
How am I supposed to thank you properly if you insist on falling asleep?
Well, you know what would really show your thanks? You see that item for sale over there?
Sorry, but you're going to have to make do with my words of appreciation. And you're not... I will not simp. Edgeworth does not simp for anyone. I have to find is when I struggled, and I have to tell myself this game is made for 12-year-olds. Don't overthink it. Yes, I mean, okay, this is not as bad as Detective Pikachu because I've played Detective Pikachu, and that is like so rock obvious on everything. Yeah, Phoenix's power, throw a rock at someone's face until they spill the tea. He also has the Magatama, you know, magic rock that I'm just going to make you admit something. Apollo is like, hey, I have a magic bracelet that tells me that you're lying to me. And Athena's like, oh, I can hear really well, and I have this thing around my neck that gives me like the ability to psychoanalyze you. And you're right, Edgeworth is just like, yep, it's logic. I think you're the killer, so I made sure to put myself alone with you in a room with no witnesses. Yep, that is a perfect solution. She is very good at her job. What are these?
Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it.
Perhaps that's how things work on this flight. But in the real world, you try, then buy.
No way! But either way, it doesn't really matter.
True. Either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they've boarded the plane?
Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Captain Ugo heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? They're painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you?
It is certainly making something jump inside my stomach.
Huh? Oh. I guess there's no fooling your refined tastes.
Uh-huh.
You look like you really wanted to get one. And I thought I was gonna finally make my first sale. But you saw right through it. Glad that's done, though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay?
But I never showed any interest in it to begin with.
It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda.
Miss Tenero designed this?
Yeah, it was a company-wide contest.
Well, it does have a very sharp design sense.
Sharp? Like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. I really have no idea why the big wigs decided to go with it. It's so bleh.
Miss Tenero designed this, did she? It's definitely not what I would have expected. Ah!
You okay?
I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Meal. Letting a suitcase freely roll around has got to be a safety violation. Oh, the plane shaking caused it to roll. In-flight suitcase displays can be hazardous. Okay, that's interesting.
Here, I'll put it back.
Thanks.
Okay. Oh, this one is on blocks. This one is not on blocks. That's interesting.
Let's look over here. Inside this display case is a row of lifesavers and life vests for sale.
We sell a lot of these when there's some kind of accident or something. But some people buy them even when there's nothing going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one?
I sense that this shop is one shopper away from being sued.
I like that she's half-heartedly trying to make him buy things as he's investigating. There are all kinds of luxury name-brand merchandise for sale in this display case, and they're lined up in just such a manner as to scream, "Buy me!" to any passers-by. And what's this? Stuffed toys, just like the one Miss Meal is holding, are on display here. They're relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great for when you're stressed. Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that? They look like knockoff blue badgers a little bit, with the hats, the blue hats. All right, let's see. What do we got? Yeah, isn't that crazy that you get to like walk around and look at things in the investigations games? Oh, you haven't played Ace Attorney Investigations 2? Yeah, that game's great. Play that, please. They ordered the Blue Badger from Wish. Yes. Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2 are legitimately my favorite games in the series. I think that is probably some of the best storytelling and characters of the series. There is a wide selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases. You know what I'd suggest? Sorry, but I have no intention of buying souvenirs on this trip. Okay, then how about you buy something for me then? As a present. I can't think of a single reason why I'd want to buy you anything. But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time. Try paying some attention to me when I ask you something and then we'll talk. Ah yes, the miracle never happened. Yeah. The glass from this display case's door is shattered all over the floor. And it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat? Ah, yeah. There we go. That's the hats that the Wish Blue Badgers are wearing. Okay, I think I have enough logic now to piece things together. I can't talk to you anymore, can I? Here. Actually, look at my badge. Oh, I'd love to have this piece of jewelry. Can I have it? No, you may not. This is a prosecutor's badge. Pooey. Then why did you show it to me? I wanted to prove to you that I really am a prosecutor. And that it's not possible for a prosecutor like me to commit such a crime as... I see that I'm just wasting my time with Cousin Hare here. Whoa, an Addams Family reference? That's random. You want to tell me about the Captain Ugo piggy bank? Miss Rhoda said that this piggy bank was in the shop, right? Don't you find her a tiny bit suspicious? I don't think I can say either way yet. There's not enough evidence to convince me that she was lying about anything back there. Are you sure about that? I don't know. Alright. Well, let's go to logic time. I just wanted to present my prosecutor's badge. I mean, we're just being canonical, because Phoenix did say Edgeworth loved showing his prosecutor's badge around during this game. Alright. Broken glasses. Suitcase. I don't think we have enough to say that the suitcase broke his glasses, but tiny captain's hat and Captain Ugo. So if Captain Ugo is missing his hat, it looks like the hat and Ugo go together. So I think these two have a connection. The hat probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get at it? Captain Ugo piggy bank data updated in my organizer. So they broke the glass to get this, the last piggy bank. Really? Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in this shop. Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda's in charge of this place. So come on, how should I know anything? I sense that further inspection of this display case is needed. Okay. So we're going to look at the display case next, I think. Okay. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's just every time. Ace Attorney Investigations 1 and 2 is honestly amazing. Ace Investigations 2 has a great storyline. I really like it. Yeah. Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2 are really great. Investigations 2 is great. Yeah. I did like Spirit of Justice. I thought that had a cool storyline of that. Okay, what do we got? Well, the glass on this door is broken. Perhaps it was the killer who broke it in order to take the piggy bank. But it's a bit odd that the inside of the case is so devoid of glass shards. Plus, the glass broke rather cleanly. Ah! What is it? I touched the glass and it cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth. It hurts. Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own. He is patrolling the thoughts. Alright, what do we got over here? Is this the same man as the one portrayed by the statues around the elevator? Yeah, that's a paperweight of the founder of GoU Airlines, Mr. Hugo Hughes. On the bottom shelf, we have the cute one. The middle shelf is the realistic one. Oh, Hugo. Oh, Hugo Hughes. I get it. Yes. Hugo is pronounced Hugo. Okay, we'll try that. Hugo Hughes. Well, that would also make sense because Hughes is like Howard Hughes, the aviation guy. The middle one is the realistic one. And on the top shelf, that's the floral version. Floral? Are you sure about that? Let me guess. You just said the first thing that came to your mind, right? Looks like hit the bullseye. Looks like I hit the bullseye. Oh, is this our first typo? Love it. Alright. Well, I know I'm assuming I have to deduce that this is probably where the thing came from. What about this? GoU Airlines related books line this shelf. The history of GoU Airlines, the future of GoU Airlines, the 7 wonders of GoU, fight on GoU Airlines. Is there an anime tie-in? Working name, Hugo Airlines. You. The titles make it very clear that they won't be making the top sellers list anytime soon. GoU is more of a Delta or an American? That's a good question. I haven't flown in forever, so I can't really comment on that. It's been a really long time since I was on a plane. Let's see, deduce. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? I think we're supposed to say that this is where the Captain Hugo piggy bank came from. Let's see. There is definitely something very unusual about this. About what? If the killer had broken the glass to get at the Captain Hugo bank, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guessed it'd be like that. However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case. Nope, there isn't. Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass. Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor. I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at that time, too. That's nice. Which leads me to believe that the killer took the Captain Hugo bank from here after the turbulence. The plane shook so much during it that it made a huge mess of the shop. Okay. Captain Hugo piggy bank data. Got it. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Meal, and listen when I'm talking. But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules this piggy bank out as the murder weapon. So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake? Yes, at this point, that is a very real possibility. But then what if when the killer went to take Captain Hugo, they broke the glass by accident? The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely. Yeah, but there's one person who could have. Oh, and who would that be? Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything. Miss Rhoda Tenero, eh? Okay, interesting. There's 2 animes we need to become real. The Steel Samurai and Delta Airlines Fancy Knockoff. Yes, that would be great. And then, what was it? The Plumed Punisher from Karine, which is a total ripoff. It's a Turkish Spider-Man version of the Steel Samurai. I already checked this area earlier, so okay, we don't have anything worth looking at there. So I think I have an obvious logic connection here, which is the turbulence and the suitcase. Let's see. Yes, there is definitely something wrong here. What's with the sudden yelling? Tell me, Miss Meal, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases? Well, sure. They totally ooze strange, like the color and the such. That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention. Ah, you're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper. Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? But I guess they take after their creator. Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Meal. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind, I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous. I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she'd heard what you just said. What's wrong? She makes a good point. It would be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I've spotted something that's not quite right. What is so unusual about this suitcase? Let's look. I mean, obviously it's not on rollers, but also, one of the wheels is stained. There's something very peculiar about these wheels. Huh? As in? As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have sent it flying. And so it is very likely that this suitcase was placed here after we hit that turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? Alright. Well, it's discolored, for one thing. I thought of great pain saying a character's name wrong for an entire case and realizing later on that it's wrong. Oh, yeah, no. I have done that at least 3 times I'm aware of, and not just for cases, for entire games. Yeah. My Great Ace Attorney playthrough had quite a few of those, unfortunately. But, alright, let's see. Let's look at this. What's this? This wheel is completely covered in something. Its color and this scent. It appears the substance in question is grape juice. But why would there be juice on the wheel of a suitcase? That's a good question, isn't it? Can we open it up? It would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. A piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood. Ha! It's blood! It appears that this suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all. Investigation complete. Oh, Godot? Yeah, I've watched, like, Ace Attorney videos where people call him Godot. And it's just, oh, why? It's very clearly a play on Waiting for Godot, but I know not all people know that concept, but, you know. No, I called Van Zeek's, Von Zykes for most of the playthrough of Great Ace Attorney, and then it hit me later that I was wrong. So explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder? I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used this suitcase in some manner, such as to move something, perhaps? But aren't you just talking about the cloth, then? That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. The thing I believe the killer used the suitcase to transport is the body. We can't present profiles. Yeah, Van Zeek's. The crime scene, right? something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it? The Go You suitcase data jotted down in my organizer. Okay. Bloody cloth data jotted down in my organizer. But in light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else, which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location. So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it? Exactly. What is it? Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Aha! I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate it if you could wrap it up in here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments. However, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course. If that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together. I've found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Meal reminded me about Mr. Ternero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light. To be continued. All right. All right, save progress, Turnabout Airlines. Okay. The Great Ace Attorney is educational. Most things are real beside most. Yeah, Mr. Natsume is based on a real man. Yes, I remember that being a thing. Characters being fictional and the whole fire jury. Yeah. Fire jury. Oh, March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. Hey! I recognize the guy in the corner there. That's Salmonella. I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over, and thanks to Miss Ternero and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Ternero in private. So I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth! Aha! She's back! Francisco? I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed, and wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Franziska von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue, but I'll have to take what I can. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame? No, wait, it has all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor, and then beat him to death. Francisca, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties. From you, of all people. To be perfect in every way. The fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town.
Oh, trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. Too slow. Ow! Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth? I'm supposed to guard him? A simple yes or no, detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth, if you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francisca's up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. Hey, it's Gumshoe's theme song. Nice. Edgeworth casually doesn't notice the creator of his favorite show, even though he is somehow the biggest fanboy in the series. I bet even more than Cody. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, even in the older graphics, he was pretty easy to spot. Let's see, can I talk to him? Looking from behind, I think I've seen this man somewhere before. Nom 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 nom. In Soviet Russia, world flag lunchboxes eat Jew. Found it. Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000. Lols. For my next Leap movie, it's going to be the Steel Samurai, Warrior of Near-World Tokyo, versus the World Samurai, Champion of Earth. It's going to rock source so many box sores. So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. That's great. Oh my gosh, that is so loaded with late 2000s internet slang and memery. This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. I did it. I made it the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. He must have been pretty scared. He's repeating the same thing over and over to himself. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shops. Which should I go with? I recommend our airport special, World Flags lunchboxes, only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. I wonder if they're aiming to take Lunchland to the international market. So does that mean Angel Star never got her job back as a detective? That's kind of sad. Let's see. I can't believe there's no one manning the counter when a murder had just occurred. That's right, but I complain about the customer service. I should try to get some information out of Detective Gumshoe first. How about this? What a view of the planes preparing for takeoff. Besides, the turbulence, they're really not all that bad as a mode of transportation. What about this? This child seems to be happily enjoying the sight of so many planes. Wow, I'd love to take a run down that runway. Oh, the youth of today. So much potential, yet so misguided. Alright, Gumshoe, let's talk. Initial investigation. So, how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Francisca. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was, a little too quick, sir. Oh, how so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Kama was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there'd been a murder or something, and had come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. In America, quote-unquote. There must be some backstory to all of this. Let's talk about Francisca, then. Miss Von Kama just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. And there's something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip.
Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine.
Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate.
Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation. Starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. Okay.
Yes, sir?
Gumshoe, look at my badge.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I think something just fell out of your pocket.
What are you...
Ugh. So did something fall or not? I didn't get a good look, sir.
It doesn't concern you, so don't worry about it. My prosecutor's badge of all things. Gumshoe must never know that I dropped it. That's great.
I love it.
Let's see, the suitcase. All right, I don't think we have much to talk about, so... Can I just go on to the plane now? Oh, he's following me. Cool. My JRPG party here. March 12th, 1:37 p.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class.
So, you must be the captain.
Why, yes, I am. And who might you be?
I am the prodigy prosecutor, Francisca von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain. Getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do.
What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy.
I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. Oh, so that's why she has her job still.
Sure you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir?
He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I would like to leave that type of witness to Francisca and her whip.
Ah!
The shrug. I love it. March 12th, 1:40 p.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge.
Now see here. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal I told you.
Mr. LeBlanc.
Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't even have 1 second of wasteful time to spend.
All right. Did you finish taking his statement yet?
Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back.
Oh, your cargo, eh? Well, first, look at my badge.
I can say you have the guts to show me a piece of art at this time. But from a single glance, I can already tell it is mostly worthless.
Huh, this is so much more value as a piece of non-art, I assure you.
You look like you have something to say. Perhaps you are thinking like casting pearls before swine?
He actually hit the nail on the head for once. That's good. That's good. All right, LeBlanc's cargo.
If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay.
Art? What sort of art?
Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts.
Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kind of looks like that other piece of cloth. Oh, is that a cue for us to present this, the bloody cloth? Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me?
Oh, it's a Borgenian cloth.
As I suspected. Your hat is made of the same material, I suppose?
Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous, orders come from over the seas for more.
By the way, I just think it's hilarious that Borgenia was the country mentioned in Dino Crisis, which Shu Takumi, who makes the Phoenix Wright series, also worked on. So it's just, he just randomly inserted the country from Dino Crisis into this series, and I love it. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier.
No. My cargo this time is much, many gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of your police, it is no good. And it is no good that attendants refuse to exit the attendance room, too.
That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Mr. Nero.
Yeah. Is this?
Is this the art piece you're moving? Let's see. What is it? Do you have some use for me? You seem not to understand. I have no time to waste. Let me put it another way. Le temps, c'est de l'argent. There, maybe another language get through your head. I understand you perfectly fine in English. All right, so we have nothing else to say to you? Oh no, Rhoda Tenero. Let's say that. What did you mean by that attendant, Miss LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendance room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her.
Why is Miss Tenero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time?
Ah, Francisca's back. Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you?
Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendants' room?
Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances.
I understand.
You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth.
Oh, wow, we're in it now.
Francisca's logic. Here we go. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The likeliest suspect, Francisca. Do you have a problem with that?
No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording.
You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend?
Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic fast.
Okay, well, we already proved the crime scene was not in the lounge, so we got that going for us. Francisca's logic. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious, okay?
Don't you think you're being a bit rash by simply declaring me the culprit?
I like my affairs to be simple and perfect. I'll show you the meaning of both when I finish this whole thing within 3 minutes.
Hey, you say that like you're cooking a pack of instant noodles, and wow!
I won't allow even 3 seconds of useless testimony to be uttered in my presence. I see she hasn't changed a bit.
But I won't allow her to send me to prison so easily.
The scene of the crime was here in the very lounge the body was discovered. Nope. Nope. Okay, we got it. It wasn't. No. Completely wrong. Pure fiction. Incorrect. We made it up. The Go You suitcase. It was designed, it was used to transport the body. We got it. We got her. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her.
It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all.
And what does that mean?
I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions?
Excuse me?
All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase.
That doesn't prove that the body was moved.
It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth.
I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily.
You should know better than that. Avant Karma is perfect in every way.
Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point?
As if there is proof of that.
Where is the proof that this suitcase was moved around?
Oh, the grape juice footprints.
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator?
Yes. And I'd like to draw your attention to this area here.
Where is the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here?
The drag marks.
This mark here, wouldn't you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from
2 wheels?
I suppose.
Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here.
I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else.
I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot.
Okay, what do you got now?
Francisca's Logic Part 2. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body.
Why are you so determined for me to be the killer?
Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop.
Alright,
Francisca's Logic Part 2.
okay. Well, I saw something. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit the turbulence. That's the... Because, like, that couldn't have happened. Because it was taken after the turbulence. I mean, come on, game. This is not hard. Okay. The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix?
A fake?
This Captain Hugo piggy bank, it's just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon.
What?
The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred.
But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that?
I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Akbe Hicks.
You there?
Yes, ma'am.
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in the lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood.
I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end.
But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir.
Eek! If the criminal had wanted it to hide the weapon in a safer place, I'd think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth.
Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene.
There is one more possibility,
And that would be?
that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon.
But didn't we just...
Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence.
They didn't bother recording her saying hold it? That's too bad.
By opening the lock on the display case door, and it was at the time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Francisca, the person you're talking about... Not so fast. I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wished to speak with her. Yes. Very well. Permission granted. But only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I do. I have no intention of interrogating her. But you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Let's see. Francisca was Flanderized in this game. In the trilogy, she only whips Edgeworth once in Bridge to the Turnabout because she loves her brother. Meanwhile, she whips Edgeworth 8 times in Ace Attorney Investigations 1 and 2. That's quite a bit. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Francisca is an interesting character. I have all sorts of feelings about her. I only just realized Miles' jaw is really good after 6 years. Well, actually 5. Yeah, he's been mewing quite a bit. His mew game is up. I just thought of a horror to think the next time you see him. Zinc LeBlanc without his cloth hat. Ah! There we go. Yeah, seriously. Alright, we're good. Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move.
That blue door over there leads to the flight attendant's room, sir.
Alright, let's go see what Miss Tenero has to say for herself. Oh, you're not going to walk with us, Francisca? That's too bad. Well, let's go. March 12th, 2:23 p.m. Flight G390, first floor, flight attendant's room. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission? Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know? What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tenero? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us shed some light on why you did what you did? All right. Let's talk. We can also look around the room a bit. What is all this? Why is there a crown and a golden Rubik's Cube? A gold bar? Is that Kinzo's gold? Let's see. What is all this junk inside these boxes? There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. That's our lost and found, Mr. Edgeworth.
Gold crowns and swords and necklaces? It's like a treasure trove in here, sir.
The fact that these were left on the plane implies they were carried onto it to begin with. Something tells me it's time for Go-U to send its metal detectors out for repairs. So what? Yeah, what? Somebody has an Academy Award they left on here, apparently? It's one of those suitcases designed by Miss Tenero. You can tell it's hardly ever been used, with the lack of even a single scratch on it. Or maybe it's just really sturdy. Think about that.
So these are the attendants' lockers, huh? Well, let's hurry up and examine them, sir.
Why must men always be so rude? Besides, who exactly gave you permission to search through the attendants' lockers?
Wait, detective.
It would be uncouth of us to look in a woman's locker without her permission.
Yeah, I guess so. Plus, I feel this murderous draft, and I can sense a whip not far behind.
What we got over here? The Go-U. Can we read that? No. Oh, that goes back outside. Okay. What's this? What exactly is this panel for? Ah, that's the emergency control panel for the elevator. We used it to stop the elevator on the first floor and to keep its doors open. Okay, that's interesting. So I can already tell whose bunk is whose. For some reason I shipped Edgeworth and Tenero after this and forgot about the best ship, Nerumitsu. Let's see, what do we got? This door leads to the cargo hold, but I can't let you through without Miss Von Karma's express permission. That's not a bad way to handle the situation if it was any old case, but this isn't.
So between you and Miss Von Karma, who's better at their job?
Oh, there's no comparison to be made, detective. None. In a power scale, Edgeworth and Von Karma. It's pretty easy to tell who sleeps in which bunk just by looking. I'm almost certain that the well-kept one up top belongs to Miss Tenero. That's what I was saying.
Ooh, this bottom one is a giant mess.
You sloven, squalid scoundrel of a man. You dare to scrutinize a woman's bed and invade her privacy?
Yo!
There are some things in life best kept to yourself, Detective. The shift of music is funny. You go from Sad of Tenero to Mario, Dusky, yeah, Dunes of LeBlanc. Let's go again. That's funny. Yeah. That's great. I love it. Let's see. What's this? And what are inside these boxes? Well, those are some souvenirs I bought in Borginia.
There's so many! There's even a second box!
Well, yes, I find that folk art from around the world does great things for my creativity.
These suitcases certainly could have done with a whole lot less of your creativity.
Edgeworth is just so offended. He hates that suitcase so much. I love it.
There is sure to be a clue of some sort in this trash can. Detective Gumshoe, if you please.
Yes, sir! You just leave the rummaging to me!
Scruffy, how dare you go through a woman's trash without her permission? Have you no sense of honor?
I'm sorry. I'm just doing what Mr. Edgeworth told me to do. Wow!
Forgive me, Detective.
You set him up. Well, go on. Let's hear our troublesome attendant out.
In due time. I do have one thing I'd like to ask you.
Yes? Do you plan to continue using that whip for the foreseeable future? Of course. I've wrangled many a testimony out of people thanks to it.
Yeah, and probably a whole ton of yelps. No!
And I'm willing to bet that the majority of them came from you, Detective. Poor Gumshoe.
Alright, Rhoda. Captain's permission. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission.
What do you mean?
The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends.
In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges.
Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tenero, is it? There is one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well,
Why the sudden hesitation? Francisca seems to have struck a nerve.
Oh, interesting. Maggie Bird is the only character with one ship, which is with Gumshoe. Of course, yes. Yeah. Penny Nichols has even more ships. The character who is, like in one case, well, two, counting this series, but yeah. And Lisa Basil. Oh, wow. That's something else. That is something else. In-flight shop. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell.
Miss Tenero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop.
But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. Let's see, what do we got? Yeah, neck without her bow. The angle makes it look too long. It does. It does look a little bit unnatural. If you could please take a look at this for me, Mr. Nero. Oh, that suitcase.
Yes, about this suitcase. You're the one who designed it, correct?
And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there?
Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase?
Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not interested to care, but I really wanted to know, and I was glad to see that it was the last one there.
The last one there?
Oh, she wanted to know that... Wait, the last one there? There was two there.
That's interesting, but yes, you're right. Look at my badge. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't know how to answer you. As a professional flight attendant, I'm a failure. She must be worn out from the long questioning session she went through. You have nothing to say about my badge? My beautiful, beautiful badge? Look at that. Gorgeous. Alright. Better than that silly blue guy. I actually bought a Japanese defense and prosecutor's badge. Now I can look like a Nipponese lawyer and do the thing. My learned Nipponese friend. As, quoting, Van Zeeks there. The last suitcase. So you're saying, Miss Tenero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular. They're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one.
I didn't say anything about buying it.
Then say you'll buy it.
I'm sorry. I can't.
But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional.
Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous.
What?
Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcases isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining.
Remaining?
There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it.
2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only one. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only one suitcase left.
Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Mr. Nero, what is one of these suitcases doing here?
That's... I thought you said there was only one left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now.
She's used it for a long time? I think not.
$1,200 is what they're charging for that? What?
Miss Tenero, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me.
Excuse me?
I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Miss Tenero says? The price tag's still on it?
Nipponese was a word because of Great Ace Attorney.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people didn't know that. Yeah, Nippon.
Tell me, Miss Tenero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase?
Ah! What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase?
Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me.
Miss Tenero, I think I understand.
I know what you're trying to hide.
Now then, this suitcase was originally in the in-flight shop.
People say Edgeworth's most cold line was, if he would like to choose death, that would be of no concern to me, but it's, that suitcase looks hideous. I literally gasped like I was watching it.
Yeah, I mean, that line to Adrian Andrews was really cold, but yeah, this is like savage.
Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought this suitcase was... You bought it yourself, didn't you? You bought it yourself, Rhoda.
It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenero? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it?
You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling,
and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself.
Isn't that right?
That the reason you went to the shop and came back here was...
I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I'd finally accomplished something.
But the suitcases didn't sell.
It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, Hideous. I think also because it's $1,200. I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked.
You buy one every single time you work a flight?
I see, so in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here is my receipt for that purchase.
How much are you making that you can afford $1,200 per flight?
This receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m.
Alright.
The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight.
Miss Ternero, where are these other suitcases?
They should all be down in the cargo hold.
Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold.
Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to...
Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body.
How could they? The suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be.
Miss Ternero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator?
The only other way is just through that door there.
And what about security?
That door has no special lock installed because just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to.
Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects.
I can't believe it.
Yes, Francisca. She just quietly yelled, "Hold it."
Going on these wild goose chases. You're a disgrace to the Von Common name.
And what do you mean by that?
The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story.
Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their keycard.
Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct?
Yes, that's the only realistic possibility.
That other attendant, Miss Meal. I asked her earlier, and she had this to say.
Francisca got information out of Miss Meal?
In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required.
A different one?
Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Ternero, and only you!
What, is this true, Miss Ternero?
Yes, I keep that keycard in my locker at all times.
Could you please show us that card right now?
Yes, hold on.
Not many hair physics. Now that I think about it, not many characters have hair physics, not including the 3Ds. Yeah, not a lot do.
I don't believe it.
What's wrong?
The keycard. It's gone.
Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen, when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this through.
Wait, it's not like that.
You can tell us all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh.
What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face.
Francisca, I know that you're the lead investigator on this case. However...
Hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time!
Huh?
You know the rules as well as I do.
You know the rules, and so do I.
Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth?
I intend to do likewise.
Yeah. To be continued. Ooh.
I did just rickroll. Happy to do it. Hey, this game's all about the ancient memes anyway. Edgeworth is honestly at his coldest here and in 2-4. Yeah, 2-4 is pretty darn cold. The epic sequence. Okay, yeah, like I said, my memory of this is pretty
pretty rusty, but I'm going to try my best. March 12th, 2:52 p.m. Got it.
Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big!
This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So, is this the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a higher probability of that, which is why we're here, correct?
Okay, let's get investigating, sir.
Begin the investigation. Cool. All right. Let's check it out. Well, I see all the suitcases that haven't sold yet. Let's check those out.
Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth! It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair!
These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over.
This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy.
Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness.
You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200! I think I'll pass.
And Mr. Nero wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments. Wait a minute. His glasses were broken. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Wait a minute. What are these glass shards from? Broken glasses. Am I being premature here? Oh, I'm not. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses.
And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses!
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses' lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected.
So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir?
Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. That's $13,1200 Rhoda was gonna spend today? Dang! Rhoda! Whatever money you're making, do you even need to work as a flight attendant? Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew.
This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir.
By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of that story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. Nasty! Nasty. He's not gonna... I will not socialize with you, detective. No, sir. All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable, and this one says pharmaceuticals. Oh no, is it from Umbrella?
This one says for exorcism use only.
Just what kind of operation is this airline running? When there's ghosts? I think I'm in the wrong career, so was Edgeworth. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, maybe I need to start being a flight attendant too. And here's the elevator.
Oh, I just love pushing the buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it.
The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, detective. It can't move.
Oh yeah, I guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now.
Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without this special keycard. Both the door to the attendance room and the elevator's control panels require a keycard, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. Oh yeah, we gotta show him the badge.
Yes, sir.
Look at the badge.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I think something just fell out of your pocket.
Oh, it's the same conversation before. That's too bad. Yeah, that's right. He's like, oh no, I'm so embarrassed. Gumshoe must never know. Let's see. What do we... Go you. Anything else we can show him? Like the suitcase?
So this design is so postmodern, sir.
Postmodern, you say?
Yeah, especially this alien-shaped handle here. You can really feel a connection.
Connection, right. Detective, please stop with your horrible impression of an art critic.
But I was only telling you my honest feelings, sir.
What about the receipt? Detective Gumshoe, this is...
Oh, is that for me? I'll use your nerves, but I'll gladly take anything you want to give to me.
Hands off, Detective. This item is related to the case.
Oh, so, what about it did you want to ask me about?
Forget I asked, Detective. Alright, so that's just like a generic response. Okay, well, let's just talk to him. Notice anything?
This cargo hold is really big. I can't believe they can fit stuff like that in here.
Detective, what are you going on about? We're in the middle of an investigation here.
Whoa, stuff's falling on me. Oh, I can't really get into my work without something like this happening first. Well, let's get this show on the road. So which item do you want to start on?
In this world, there are those who are masochistic, and then there's Gumshoe. Does he like the whipping? Alright, Tenero's lie.
So that flight attendant, Rhoda Tenero, she's the killer, isn't she?
I don't think we can say for sure yet, but there certainly are a great number of things pointing us in that direction.
You mean like how she didn't tell us about her buying her own suitcase?
Yes, however, in regard to the keycard being stolen, I can't seem to find any evidence that she's lying about that. Okay, interesting. Timeline of liking Gumshoe. 1-2, I don't like him. 1-3, I like him. 1-4, 1-5, and the rest of the games still Apollo Justice. Love him. Apollo Justice and Dual Destinies, I miss him. Yeah. He gets a single mention in the DLC case of Spirit of Justice, and it's just a single offhand mention of all the fun they had with Detective Gumshoe, and that's it. It's really too bad. I hope he comes back in the inevitable next Ace Attorney game. Alright, let's look at the suitcase.
Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal?
It's what the victim checked in, sir. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look.
There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir.
Wait, a file?
And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir.
It looks like a profile on Francisca. Oh, wait a minute. He had a picture of Francisca. I mean, who doesn't? Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? Let's see. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here?
No, sir. I haven't noticed a thing.
I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious. I don't think he's coming back now because he's an investigations character. That might be. So I have said multiple times to the Capcom Ace Attorney Twitter account that they need to make an Investigations 3 with Van Zeeks as the main character. I would buy that in an instant. That would probably be a pre-order. And I don't pre-order stuff very often. So, yeah. That would be amazing. Alright, anyway. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. Why? Actually, first, look at the badge. There's something much more urgent we should be talking about right now. Don't waste my time or yours. Oh, you're no fun. Alright, why at this airport? I've been following a very large and involved governmental-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. Yes, I did. I did, because I have technically played both of these games before and knew that I loved them, so... So you might have noticed I got the remixed music going. That's, I guess, the pre-order bonus you got. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Ah, Interpol. Interesting. She's an Interpol liaison. Interpol is involved? It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have. But you gave me that. That's enough logic. It is the 2009 arrangement. I do like that. Profile on Francisca in Interpol. Yeah. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca?
Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir.
Francisca said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation.
Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her.
Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol Agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do.
You got some explaining to do, Francisca. Yeah, the truth behind Hicks. It really did suck that he got killed at the beginning of Alien 3. No, different Hicks, sorry. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about?
We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct?
I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks... Oh, she called him Miles. Oh, my. But it looks like they got to him first.
So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then?
Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring.
Smuggling?
He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. No! Agent Hicks came here for work-related reason. Of that, I am sure.
Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing.
Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation?
No, unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed.
I see. But this raises another question.
A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own.
Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in.
Oh, I'm reading my Edgeworth voice. It was Francisca who said all that. I missed it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, when you said, does he like the whipping, my mind went a million different ways except the actual. Sad note. He has a picture of Francisca?
Yeah. She said Miles. She did. She called him Miles, not his full name.
What is that?
Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments in his broken glasses are a testament to that, and then... the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases, and they entered the elevator, but while they were riding it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open, and Agent Hicks's body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor.
Investigation complete.
Sweet. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir?
I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth, but the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero. Oh, definitive evidence. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the keycard that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? Okay. I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Let's see. Definitive evidence. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown. Got it. That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal, or even the captain.
Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there. Yay! I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well, then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal?
I thought you might ask about her.
But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come down here.
Right.
But it's stolen, right? but it's highly likely that the keycard was stolen from Miss Tenero. It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father? Yeah. Yes, well, I don't have any evidence. Be quiet. You're a disgrace.
There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know. It's not just the keycard that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Hugo piggy bank? Yes. She is also the only person with a key to open the display case.
Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank.
Oh, she brought that up, but it broke. But that is a fake. Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth.
How dare he call himself a disciple of her father? He didn't even forge any evidence or kill his father while making that statement.
Yes. Seriously. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake,
then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? The piggy bank, the crime scene, or the body? Well, the body? Because... let's see... the body. Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions.
Oh, was I?
Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon?
Scruffy! Yes, sir?
Contact the medical examiner's office at once.
I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy. Yes, sir! We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Uh-oh, what is it? What do you got now, Gumshoe?
What is it, Detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said that they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back.
From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area?
Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir.
Instantaneous death resulting from a blow to the back of the head, bruising head to mid-back. Whoa. I just realized every character you play as, except Apollo, has been accused of murder at least once. Yeah, Apollo is the sole exception to that, isn't it? Isn't he? That's really interesting.
Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean?
Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective?
Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir.
You're completely useless.
No!
Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there.
No, you remove yourself from my way.
What is all that racket?
Oh, my luggage, my cargo, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me.
We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience.
I suppose there is no choice.
Finally, I think he gave...
Hey, what are you... You have left me no choice but to use strong force. Ah! You won't get past me.
This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. Oh my gosh. That's great. Is there some way for me to prove that this isn't the real murder weapon? Yeah. They held the murderous bank. Yeah. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back.
We're just instantly... He saw that and he's like, Eureka! Or like he's Kiryu from Yakuza 0. That's rad. The Humpty Dumpty scene. Yeah, that's great. Maya. Hey, the number of times that Maya has been accused of being a killer is kind of staggering. All right. Cause of death. So, is there some way for me to prove that this isn't the real murder weapon? Well, let's see. Weapon couldn't be found and the cause of death. Is this it? I think this is it, right? No? Oh, I can't see a clear connection. Let's see. Captain Ugo, or Yugo, Piggy Bank. Alright, let's see. The cause of death. Yes, because, let's see. Is there some way for me to prove that this isn't the real murder weapon? Well, yeah, with the extensive bruising. That makes sense. Those two are connected. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. Cool. Alright, next, the weapon couldn't be found. A usually large area of the bruising suggests that a very large weapon was used. The weapon couldn't be found. It's a sizable weapon that can't be found. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration.
What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here?
Francisca? What? What do you want? I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon.
You did? He really jumped.
We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs.
There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. They're just totally ignoring that he fell. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence.
You two aren't listening at all, are you?
Come on then, show me this real murder weapon. Gumshoe sounds like he's talking about something way more serious. He is. Don't have evidence to show. Well, no, we don't. That's the thing. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. There we go. There's the full rant. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of death. Freefall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground.
He
fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death.
But the murder happened inside this plane.
I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which you could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time.
You can't mean...
Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold.
What? Then, we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal!
Quiet!
Why are you screaming? He's alive!
Imagine going to court and suddenly in the middle of you say, Your Honor, I figured out the real murder weapon. The floor! And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then?
He would have been a Borginian pancake for sure, sir.
I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when the giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her that it's possible the box was not always where it is now? The turbulence, right? Where... Okay, I need something to talk about the turbulence, right? Let's see. I know it's this thing, right? I do remember that. But, let's see. Hecbe Hicks, instantaneous death. Made a brief stop. Originating cloth. No. Suitcase. Is it the spilt grape juice? Because that seems likely. But let me look at everything I have here. Captain Hugo. Wait a minute. Oh, transferring cargo and refueling at Jingfa. Right. Yeah. He refueled in the Republic of Jingfa? Yes, this flight had a short layover in Jingfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question.
It's labeled Jingfa Express.
Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Jingfa. Okay, nice. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Jingfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me the chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Lower deck cargo hold. Okay, we investigate more. Let's go. This is a rather large piece of cargo.
There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Aleph Red Statue? Never heard of it.
Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Then let's get investigating, sir.
Oh, LeBlanc's got something to say. Talking in Hadoukens.
Look here, do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up on me like that, pal.
So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Let's talk. Do not go about... Oh, I was supposed to talk to you. I suppose I have to first appease Mr. LeBlanc if I want to examine this in more detail. Alright. You want to look at my badge again?
I can say you have the guts to show me a piece of art this time.
Oh yeah, he already said it is mostly worthless and much more value. Yeah, perhaps you are thinking. He actually gets it right. Pearls before swine. Plot twist. He knows how to use common expressions and idioms. Let's talk about your cargo. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc?
Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Aleph Red Statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more.
Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold.
10 million cents?
I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective.
Don, how did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year.
Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars?
Does it really make a difference to our case? But Mr. LeBlanc, there's a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching.
Ah. Interesting. Wait a minute. Do we have some logic here? Smuggling? Oh, he was on the trail of an international smuggling ring, and he claims to have bought a piece of art from Europe, but this is the only game with US dollars? Yeah, because it's a very quote-unquote American game, right? Maya and her love of hamburgers. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Jingfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. Alright, fake statue. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake?
I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here.
Do you mean the cargo certification document?
Mr. Ledzik LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once.
I love eating hamburger because I'm American. That's right. Very American. Ninetales Vale, very American. Karine Village, very American.
I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as day that cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, Miller's Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate.
No, that's...
Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting here. Oof. Alright. How are we going to deal with that one? The Super Mario Desert theme. Yeah. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself.
Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right.
I know I've seen this somewhere before.
This is the Aleph Red? It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it.
Alright. It was worth 10... I love that's even in the evidence. It's worth 10 million cents. I believe a closer look is warranted here. Let's examine it then. So this is the infamous Aleph Red statue.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you see something?
There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Yeah, is that a stain on it? So this is the Aleph Red statue. I swear I've seen this somewhere before.
No wonder this thing is worth 10 million cents. Look at how it sparkles, sir.
I wouldn't call it sparkling, detective. Maybe more along the lines of dully shining. Deduce. Yes, it absolutely is. The picture with it in it. I'm not entirely confident that there is a contradiction here. What do you think, detective?
Well, I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. My well-trained gut tells me so.
I see. Well, then I must be mistaken.
How come when I answer confidently, you take that to mean we're off course, sir?
Okay, so I jumped the gun. Well, alright, we'll keep looking then. Okay, we can go down to look further. So let's look at the eyes. Are these eyes made of some sort of gem?
That's a real nice shade of orange. For a sec, I couldn't even tell they were jewels.
Oh, but they
kind of remind me of the eyes of this stray cat that lives near my house.
Are the eyes supposed to be this color? Is it possible this statue is a fake? Oh, is it the eyes we gotta present on? Let's see. Yeah, they're red. There we go. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Ah, sir, they're red.
As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc.
What do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
The Aleph Red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? This trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is gonna be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but what is that? Sympathy? For what?
You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes.
That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the two of us.
I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. This game makes me on edge. In the other games, they're like, please present. In this, they're like, ah, yes, normal conversation. Present something with no warning and no time to save. Yeah, really. Uh-huh.
Why the sudden yelling? Now then, oh! It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. Mwah!
Now, do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
A fake!
Oh no, Edgeworth's airbending like he does in the anime. I believe that even further examination will be required, now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake. There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa. And I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Alright. Anything down here to look at? Good look at the suitcases. The leftover suitcases sit here, lined up in two pretty neat rows. Too bad for Mr. Nero, but the design is unmarketable.
Oh, why don't they sell them in the airport and have a bargain basement sale? Buy one, get one free. If you win the raffle, you get one more for free. How about those ideas, sir?
I think if they did that, everyone would lose. What about this? So this Alfred is a fake.
That art dealer isn't looking too happy about it either, sir.
I will get to the bottom of this for his sake as well as mine. Alright. And then the eyes.
I can't believe you were able to tell this was a fake from a single glance, sir. You knew right away that its eyes were a different color than the ones in the photo.
Yes, unlike a certain detective who needs to try a little harder. The fact that this is a fake, it means it was swapped with the real one at some point. That's good to know. Alright. Alright, let's see. Oh! This is kind of weird. Let's look at here. What's this?
The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. It kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. You, what did you say just now? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen.
Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate.
Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it.
Do you want to wear an expensive dress? Oh yeah, this. Why is this? Let's see. Let's see. What have we here?
It says Zhengfa Express on the cloth, sir.
Something is tugging on the corner of my mind as though something is out of place. Oh, wait a minute. So if they stopped in Zhengfa, and this was put here, and this cloth was draped over it, this thing being on top of it is also a problem, right? Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yeah, the fact that they stopped in Zhengfa. Where is that? Miss Meal's testimony. Aleph Red. Hang on. Where's our stop in Zhengfa? Cargo from Zhengfa. Okay. I'm not entirely confident there is a contradiction here. What do you think, Detective?
Well, I think it's really suspicious looking.
Oh yeah, he said the same thing. Yeah. We lost that. Airbending. I like how they can actually yeah, blow a man's hair off, launch a woman and break her smoke, breaks an old man's cane and back. Yeah. Yeah, the anime got pretty wild in that area. Okay. So, is it, let's see, the Aleph Red. So this is the Aleph Red, got it. And then we have this, and then we have, I'm trying to think what exactly, we've looked at everything, so now we need to deduce. Okay. Is it, is it another case of me just, Eric Vale made it 100 times better?
And then we get, let's see, is it this? Is it the fact that, did I get this wrong? Is it the fact that this is on top of it? Do I need to like present in this specific area? Yeah. The cloth under the statue? Okay, I'll try that. Maybe I just got it in the wrong spot, because I think I'm on the right track. Yes, there we go. There was clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah, that's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe, which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There is only one reason why, to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. Hello? We could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge, which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Nice. Investigation complete. Sweet. All right. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes, well, this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir. It was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. That's why he doesn't look happy. He looks like super miserable. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold, a rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhengfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the time in Europe? Oh, the Europe Zhengfa leg of the trip. There would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer, move this statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now! Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Aleph Red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. Oh, the game's not going to make us spray luminol? I see, there was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? With the Borginian cloth. The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zhengfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zhengfa? There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zhengfa, then this becomes highly suspect. Yeah, Miss Meal's testimony, because she said that he was in his seat. Recall Miss Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zhengfa. Yeah, she said she saw him at 5 a.m. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir! But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. Alright. I will go ahead and plan to finish this case tonight, so let me take a real quick break. I'm gonna run and take care of something, and then I will be right back, and then we will finish this case, because as I recall, there's not a whole lot left. Confrontation with Cammy Meal next. Alright, back. Let's do it. March 12th, 3:35 p.m., Flight G390, lower deck, cargo hold. Miss Meal. Miss Meal! Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier about when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhengfa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhengfa. Oh? Miss Cammy Meal? Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did. No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. Ugh. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well. Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span from just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Uh-oh. Alright. Miss Meal's alibi, here we go. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Yeah. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Okay. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up. Ah. She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Alright. Yeah. Miss Meal, wake up! Yeah, I'm awake. Miss Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant! Why ask me to wake her when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use? That's a good point. In the attendant's room. If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendant's room at that time? Eating and then having a most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way. Sleeping's part of our job too, you know. Is it? When you're on the clock? Miss Meal, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up! I'm awake. Yo, what did you whip me for, sir? Oh, what did I miss? A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead. Really? Yeah, sorry about that. You can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony. Say from 5 to 6 in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh, well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do?
Should I raise an objection? Yeah, raise an objection. All right. Miss Meal, there is a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. All right. What do we got on that? Oh! 5 to 6, right? The suitcase receipt. Rhoda would have been bringing the suitcase in. I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m., Miss Tenero. Yes. Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip in first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Meal there at that time? No. So, Miss Meal, where were you, really, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Cammy Meal? Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Reason for suspicion. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew, but you'd think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda, too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Okay. Please leave Miss Tenero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind, but you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of like... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. That's right, Edgeworth. Brush that aside. Reason for suspicion. Alright. Now let's keep pressing. No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. But say I wasn't an attendant. You wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes, I suppose that's true enough. You'd think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda, too. She is already being detained for further questioning. Or have you already forgotten? Oh yeah, guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer. Miss Meal, what did you mean just now by no one else could have done it? She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard and the shop. And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. But I spend so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Virginian. She's the only one on this flight who's fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Oh, why didn't you say so in the first place?
What else could I have meant?
Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian. Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Very interesting. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Actually, your on-the-job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes. Huh? But why? While Miss Tenero is busy with the passengers and all of her other duties, you have a lot of free time on your hands, thus providing you with ample time to commit the crime. Niles Edgeworth, I demand that you cease and desist in this line of conjectural questioning. I won't allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer. Who could that be? But I do not honestly believe Miss Meal does any actual work aboard this flight. Oh, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth. Although, well, all I'm in charge of are the attendance room and some Borginian stuff. Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. So, wait a minute. No. Alfred. So if this is in Borginian, she's the only person who could have forged this. So we got her. So you're the only one in the flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statement was loaded in Europe. Statute, not statement. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Meal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Aleph Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh? It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. Oh, she's getting all serious now. Oh, what? She's blowing bubbles. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation, after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charges of murder on me just like that. If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have had a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there was some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who was under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all of the blame for the crime onto her. On this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenero from the very beginning. Alright. So, out to frame. Let's see. What do we got? The cloth. Let's think about this. The Aleph Red certificate. The autopsy report. Well, the wallet being put in his... That was intended to frame Edgeworth, right? So that's probably not it. Oh, it's the Captain Hugo piggy bank, right? This piece of evidence will answer all of your questions. Are you sleep presenting or something, Mr. Edgeworth? No, as you can plainly see, I'm wide awake. I'm afraid you failed. You were making so little sense that I thought maybe you were asleep. Ugh, talk about a Dr. Sleepy Mrs. Hyde-esque transformation. Nice reference. Is this it? But wasn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Oh, I get it. That's a little. Thanks for the little clue there, game. It's the unaccounted for suitcase. Yeah. The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower decks to the path to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works, without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back in the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? When the murder took place? No, where? Yeah, because it was in the cargo. Yeah. The special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So, no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you and you alone could be the killer. And... Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture? Wait. His missing phone. Yeah. Wait, did the body... Yes, the body was found. We're standing in the cargo room where it was found. I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the real killer. Come on, get serious. Huh? If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like to ask you for your assistance. You know, the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. She has a blue phone.
Agent Hicks's phone! It's ringing from somewhere, sir!
I hear it, Detective. Now where is it coming from? Is it louder? Is it on you? Miss Meal, wake up. Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I got sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby I used to love as a child. I'd better find that cell phone fast. It sounds like the phone is up in the flight attendant's room.
We better hurry to the flight attendant's room, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you. No directional audio for us. March 12th, 4:12 p.m., flight G390, first floor, flight attendant's room.
The ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it.
Is it in here?
The ringing's coming from in here, sir.
What?
No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir?
It's Miss Tenero's.
What?
March 12th, 4:28 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck, cargo hold. So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room in Miss Tenero's locker.
What? But... Brother Tenero.
I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away.
Wait, I have a theory.
This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, all right. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that.
Ugh.
The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on, or in it.
What now, Miles Edgeworth?
It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone.
What?
Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our real killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Alright. Open it. This must be the switch that opens the phone. Ah yes, I remember phones that used to look like this. And it's broken. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. Alright, so we looked at the broken screen. Yep. And when did they start putting keyboards like these into cell phones?
Hey, this one is one of those computer cell phones that they started selling recently.
Computer cell phones?
Yeah, it's got a computer in it, and it's a cell phone. Neat, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
All you need is in a phone is the phone part, nothing more.
I'm guessing yours can't even send out email. Talk about inconvenient.
Do you have a problem with what I do and do not care for, Detective?
No, sir. As they say, simple is best.
That's right. Check at the back of the cell phone. Alright, well, let's see. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of his smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures?
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
This looks like a very similar model to my own, and mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler.
But the phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. Yep, you're helping, for sure. Good job.
I'll find a way, don't you worry about that.
May I go back to sleep now? The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data.
What?
What do you mean by that, Francisca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francisca, your phone if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case.
Hey, the Aleph Red's nowhere in this picture.
Yeah, we have the autopsy report. But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right?
Oh, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir.
Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? Wait. What are the... Let's see. The fact that all of the suitcases are here in this photo is odd. Agent Hicks was still alive at the time. So what exactly is so odd about the suitcases that haven't been used yet being there? Yes, well, I was only pointing out things that are different between now and then. Your off-topic ramblings have put this attendant to sleep yet again, Miles Edgeworth. I'll give Sleepyhead here a rude awakening. A deafening objection and a contradiction. Alright. So what do we got here? The guardrail. It looks exactly the same as it does now.
That rail is entirely too low. I even almost fell to my death. However, I was saved in a miracle-like manner. Perhaps that is what to run away from death by the skin of one's gum means.
Try to narrowly escape death by the skin of one's teeth. Shakespeare. Now then, there must be something in this photo. What do we got? The boxes. What's all this?
Oh, they are cargo shipped from Virginia to Zhengfa.
So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhengfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere.
One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. It says...
Bowing Man, E, Scissors, Leaf, I, Monster, Hadouken.
It is cloth in English.
Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer...
What? What is that scary face?
Miss Meal? Yes. It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The Borginian cargo in this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. Easy. The cloth. And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zhengfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camille. That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Virginian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Virginian, well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. The bed sheets. Yeah.
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box.
Precisely, and bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bed sheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Virginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zhengfa. That's right. That is why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille. You and you alone. Duh. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All you would have to do is contact the Zhengfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within these boxes.
So what do you say, Miss Meal?
Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zhengfa? No! Oh yeah. All the bubbles are popping. He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. So she pushed him. March 12th, 5:26 p.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge.
We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir.
Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that?
They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached this topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir.
She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth? I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that... Well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation.
Oh no, it's a suitcase.
That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at Go You Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go. How nice. Thank you.
I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. But boy, was it fun.
Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca?
Oh, she's filing out some customs paperwork for her departure.
Departure?
Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case.
Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier?
You got it, sir.
March 12th, 5:47 p.m., Hope Springs Airport. Francisca, I thought I told you when you first landed I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You are Francisca von Karma, a very proud prosecutor, deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing Pierrot, living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there was another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent? He's a star among Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun. Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full.
And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness, I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip.
Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation.
Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight.
Oh, just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was hoping if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office.
Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want.
Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first.
And then he goes right to his office and finds a dead body.
Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Ah, finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Ah, have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano. Ernest Amano, correct?
Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped.
Huh? The end. Okay, we blew through this in one go. Love it. All right, Turnabout Airlines is finished. And we're going to be doing the kidnapped Turnabout next time. So I'm going to wrap up there. And next Saturday, we will do this again. Same time, same place. See you then. Bye.